and welcome to another video. You are now in the recovery room with our Lisa J. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are back, that means that you did enjoy my last video. Take a moment to like this video, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss a beat. So let's get started. Today's video is about thinking that he loves you, or you thought that he loves you, or he left you pregnant and alone. However you want to put your own twist to it. But basically, it's about being single and alone. You thought that someone that you were in a relationship with really cherished you, really loved you, but then you see down the road that that is not the case, that they only wanted one thing from you. So we're going to talk about that today. So let's go ahead again and get started with my experience. So if you have not seen my last video dealing with the loss of my father, I do encourage you to go watch that video because that is going to introduce this video. And one of the things that I said that actually made me really down in my life, or really brought me to a low point, is looking for love, being that I did not have the love of my father anymore. I'm basically looking for love in all the wrong places and thinking that you can find it in man, when the only place that you can find the love is in the man, which is Christ. So that was my journey. It was like a guy can come to me and be like, oh, I love you, you're so pretty. And I'm like, what? Let's, do what we need to do. So it was just like, not having any self-value or not having any self-respect for who I was. Back then I didn't know that. So I met this guy, and this guy was just telling me everything that I wanted to hear. And of course, you guys know, as women, we are moved by what we hear. Men are moved by what they see. So if you tell me you love me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like he loves me. If you tell me that I am the only girl in your life, if you tell me that you're gonna marry me and all this other stuff that you're gonna do, we're gonna be moved as women by what we hear. But in this instance, I want you to learn to not move by what you hear, but move by what you see. What are your actions? So you're saying that you love me. You're saying that I'm the only one for you. You're saying you adore me. I'm your rock. But does your actions speak that? Are you going into the grocery store to get yourself a snack and you get back to the car? And I'm like, you crunching on Cheetos. Where are my Cheetos? You didn't even consider the fact that you had me in the car and I may have wanted a snack. You could have at least asked. So that's what I'm saying. Us being moved by what we see versus what we see and hear, it definitely makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. So back in the day, when I was a teenager, I was really intrigued by guys with saggy pants. I didn't care if you were going to college. I just wanted to see what your car looks like. That's just what I did. And now I look back over my life, and it's like the guys that actually wanted to date me, they were the ones with the holes in their pants. They were the ones who actually, wore the same shirts to school. And I look, and they're millionaires right now. And the guy that I chose is just trying to be still a 40-year-old rapper. So it's like, you add it up. Like, my mindset back then was screwed up because I was looking for one thing. I didn't care about anything else but love, because I was missing that. That was a void in my life that I was trying to fill. So I met this guy or whatever, and he was just telling me everything I needed to hear. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Yes, awesome. So we were dating, and I introduced him to my mom. And the first thing my mother was like, oh, he's a bum. I'm like, oh, here we go. He's not going, no, this ain't it. Nope, next. I'm like, what? You're just jealous. And it's like, I was a teenager, and my mom was a 40, 40s. And I'm telling her she's jealous of me. How does that sound? So I'm like, you're just jealous. You're jealous. You're jealous because somebody loved me. And she's like, jealous? No, I'm just trying to protect your future because he ain't the one. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see that for myself. And we always want to see something for ourselves. But when somebody tells us something, instead of listening to what they're saying, we want to experience it and waste all this time. when we could have just listened to what they said and observed, and we would have knew right then that that wasn't the one. But you know, we know everything because we teenagers. So time went on. The only positive thing that this guy had in his life was his dad, and his parents really, you know, liked me. That was the only positive thing. So we dated. We of course were having unprotected sex, and I ended up, you know, getting pregnant, but I didn't know. And at the time, I told him, he was like, "Oh, you pregnant? Yeah, this is my first kid. I'm gonna be the best daddy." And I'm just like, yay, this is all gonna work out in my favor. He didn't have a job. He didn't have a car. He was wearing his pants like he lost his belt. And I'm saying that, oh, I can change it. He has potential. I can change it. And how many of y'all know today that you can't change no man? You can't change no husband. You can't change no boyfriend. The only person that you can change is yourself. And then you can get on your knees to pray for that significant other that you would like to change. But you can't change a man. The man has to change the man, which is Jesus, is the only person that can change that man. So I would tell you, ladies, do not get into a relationship based on potential. Oh, he ain't got a job. Oh, with me, he gonna have a job. Yep, with me, he gonna have a job, he gonna have a car, and he going to college. And then you get into a relationship with this person, and it's like, you haven't filled out any job applications? No, I told you I didn't want to go to college. You already knew this. You knew he didn't want to go to college. So why waste the time? Why settle for something less than God's best? And that's what I was doing. My whole entire teenage years, all the way to my beginning adult years, I was just settling. I was settling because I wanted something. And I wanted it now. I did not want to wait for the process. I didn't want to try to fix our Lisa and be everything that God wanted our Lisa to be. No, I just wanted to be in a relationship because I didn't want to be lonely. So y'all, being single is so amazing. Like, being single is amazing. You may not see that because you're in that situation, but when you're single, you have so much to maximize on. You have so much, you can travel, you don't have anybody to answer to. You free. So moving on. I ended up getting pregnant, and my mother was like, "Oh God." And I'm like, "What? We're gonna be a family." You know, and so back in the day, parents was like, "Okay, well, if you get this girl pregnant, you have to marry her." So his dad was like, "Okay, so I think that you should marry her." And he proposed, long story short. And I said no, because I was stupid, but I wasn't that stupid. I was going to a ministry that actually taught me value, even though I didn't want to follow it. But I knew I was crazy, but I wasn't that crazy. You didn't have a job. You didn't have a car. How are you going to support me and my son? All I wanted you for is because you told me this and you told me that, but your action said something else. So I said no. So going on, he left. He left and went to a whole nother state. I didn't see him. Called him and told him that, you know, I was in labor. He didn't really give me any, you know, that, oh yeah, that's my first baby, I'm gonna get it popping. All that energy, where's that energy? You didn't keep that same energy that you have now based on me about to be in labor. So I was in labor, and the person that I had beside me was my mother. And y'all, I cannot, if y'all are in a situation and someone tells you, that this person is not it, this person is not it, this person is not it, or this person is just watch them. 9 times out of 10, you should be watching this person because something is not right. And the last thing that you want to do is have somebody that you have to go back to and they say, "I told you so." Like, just have open arms and just let me cry. Just don't say you told me so, but please don't tell me that, because that's going to make me even madder. So had to go back to my mom, and my mom was so blunt. She said, I told you he was a dog. I'm like, oh my God. So she's sitting up here, my cousin was sitting here, and I was having this baby with them and not the person that I was supposed to have the baby with. So his words did not line up with his actions, and I ended up being a single mother. I was a single mother for about 7 years. I won't say that it was easy. It was not easy at all, but it was definitely rewarding because I learned so much. I will never, ever regret my 15-year-old, but in the same instance, excuse me, I have learned so much. I've just learned so much. And with that, learning so much, it's like the dad that his biological father, the only thing that he bought my son was a sausage biscuit and 2 PlayStation cards. And my son now is at the age of 15. He's 15 now. And that's all he bought him, just a deadbeat. And then he's still trying to be a 40-year-old rapper. Like, he's just trying to be a rapper. I'm not understanding. So he's not trying to be a father. He has kids in Atlanta. He has kids in North Carolina. He has kids in Virginia. He has kids in Ohio. He's just a sperm donor, and he's trying to be a rapper. But I could have avoided, not saying that I wanted to avoid, because again, I got my prize out of it, which was my son. But I could have avoided so much hurt, so much misery, so many mistakes I could have avoided because I did not listen. Not only did I didn't listen to the people around me, but I didn't listen to the Father. And that was the main person that I needed the love from. So guys, I'm telling you, like, getting into a relationship is one thing, but having 2 people that are whole is another thing. Like, I want to know what trauma you've been through that is going to block our relationship. Did you grow up in a single mother situation, or did you have your mom and your dad? Did you just grow up with your dad? I want to know these deep situations, so when we get into issues, we know the root of the problem, and you have worked on those traumas. Not saying that you have forgot those traumas, but you have healed in those traumas, and you are not going to bring those traumas into a relationship or a marriage. So just getting yourself together before you even think about being in a relationship is the best thing that you could possibly do. And I'm telling you guys, the mistakes that I made, I'm glad I made those mistakes, because if I didn't make those mistakes, I would not be here telling you how you can actually refrain from making the mistakes that I made. But guys, it was a lot. Just looking for love in all the wrong places when I knew the only love, I just found out not a few years ago, the only love that could complete me is the love of the Father. Now I know who I am. Now I know what I deserve. I know that I don't deserve someone emotionally abusing me. I know I don't deserve someone physically abusing me. I deserve for somebody to treat me like a queen. I deserve for the doors to be open. I deserve for them to plan special dates. Not saying that we as women don't do that as well, but we're just natural like that. We love to spoil our men. But I know what I deserve, so I want that in return. I want those dates. I want those, I want you to tell me and I want you to show me type of thing. And I'm just telling someone on this channel, if you are dealing with the decision of trying to see if you're going to get into a relationship or trying to see if you're going to marry this person, just outweigh the situation. Does the good outweighs the bad? Don't ignore the red flags. The red flags are there for a reason. Some red flags we can deal with as women. Some red flags we can't deal with. Like, if you know you don't smoke and you don't want anybody that smokes, why would you settle for somebody that smokes occasionally? If you know that you don't like when someone, say they leave the toilet up, and you're dating this person and they come to your house and they leave the toilet up, why, which that's simple, but that can become major problems in the future. So guys, just weigh out the relationship, weigh out the situation, see what the Father says about the relationship, because 9 times out of 10, what we think is good for us is bad for us. And we think he's the one, but he's not the one. This whole entire time, he is not the one, honey. So yes, today's episode was about being single and alone, or thinking that he loves you. But the only love that can complete you is the love of the Father. So guys, I think we may do a part 2. I think you guys have to stay tuned just to find out. If you want me to do a part 2, put in the comments that you want me to do a part 2, because there's so much more to this story. Again, if you love what you hear, if you love what you see, please take the time to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You guys enjoy your day, and always remember that self-love is the best love. Enjoy your day.